He's being live streamed. Ow.
This is scary. I think I know what I'm doing.
I love I love that. I love that confidence.
I think we're a go.
Are we live? Oh, we are live. Ah! We're live.
Yes, we are.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, everyone.
We made it, man. Made it through hump day this week, man. This week.
Yeah, this has been a crazy, crazy week in a lot of different ways.
Oh, for sure. Well, daylight savings, I know not all states are affected by it, but it just takes it out of you. Like, it feels like it should be 10 p.m. right now.
Yeah, it's definitely something to get used to. I know they're talking about changing it, but they've been talking like that for the last few years. So I don't know if it's going to be real or not.
Oh no, they totally. I remember a few years ago they even like passed something through Congress saying it was okay to change it, okay to do away with it, and I got my hopes up. And now for nothing because it's still here to haunt me.
That is true.
Mhm.
Well, for everyone tuning in, and also this will be on the channel if someone wants to watch it later or know someone that missed it. Kristen, why don't you tell everyone what we're starting this off with Thirsty Topics?
Oh, I get to go first. Okay. Oh, there's so many things. Let me start with one that I am personally most passionate about. Um, People Magazine listed or named the sexiest man alive for 2023. Did you hear about this, Lawrence?
No, I didn't.
It's Patrick Dempsey. Do you know who that is?
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
I guarantee you nobody over the age of 30 knows who he is. And I'm not saying that's old. Patrick Dempsey was the love interest on Grey's Anatomy. So think back to when that was popular.
Mm-hmm.
He was an old man then. I mean, he wasn't. He's really not old. I don't know. I could probably Google how old he is, but Patrick Dempsey, People Magazine feels is the sexiest man alive, and I am just not on board with that in the least.
With all the options, I'm totally surprised. I mean, granted, I don't probably pay attention to it, but still, usually, it would be someone that the average person would know.
He's 57 years old. He's like, okay, okay.
And
So
just for the celebrities out there, no shade, but I just don't know everyone out there.
well, no, and he's very attractive. Like he is a
Mm-hmm.
good gentleman. Um, but like this, I mean, I love that people are younger and younger. As in this generation and like Gen Xers, like millennials, I feel like we're aging a lot slower. And I do love that. But at the same time, I feel like the older generations need to make way for the younger generations to be successful. And I know this is not like where it's supposed to go or whatever, but like it just reminds me of what's happening almost in the country, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like you're 57 years old, you're the sexiest man alive, you're a good looking dude, but like it just reminds me of like people not retiring to make way for the younger people. Like we've just aged up in things. And so I just think 57 years old, he's over 20 years older than me. And I am 20 years older than like the average consumer. I feel like it's
Well,
just
I guess it all depends on what. Because see, the thing is to me, beauty is subjective.
true.
I've always said this: there's no such thing as an ugly person, because you can line 10 people up, show them someone, and you're gonna have 10 different opinions.
Agreed. Yeah.
Not to say one is right or wrong, but the thing that I like is, you know, 10 years ago, he probably wouldn't even be considered for
Right.
sexiest man alive. And
Yeah.
I've seen, like, for example, on The View, Joy Behar. I
Hmm.
was stunned to find out she's, I believe, 80 or 81 years old. I was shocked.
Really?
Seriously. Yeah. Because I
And
heard that, and I'm like, no, no. I mean, she's not. And then she had said it on there that, she's starting, I think she's doing some kind of play or something, and
wow,
she's 80 or 81 years old. And it's like, wow. I mean, we're really redefining what age looks like now.
we no, and we are. And I feel like I'm on two sides of that. Really.
Hmm.
Like part of me that loves it because I'm not like super young. And so I like that 40, is legitimately middle aged. Like at 40, I could live till 80. 40 might actually be middle aged. Whereas, you know, 25 years ago, it was almost like, women lived till 65. So middle age was 30 ish. I mean, just, I like, and or that we're just perceived as younger.
Yeah.
But there is still a degree of like step aside old people. And I hate to say that because 57 to me is not truly old. Like really, 57 is not.
Wow.
But I mean, there is a part of me that's like step aside old people. Like let the young generation do their thing. Let them make their money. Let them buy their houses. Let them have what you had. Let a 20 something be the sexiest man alive because I guarantee you, yes, 57 is not old to me, but I might be in the minority of people my age who feel that way. And also Patrick Dempsey's like exceptionally good looking. But like I just feel like it's almost it's so hard for young people to get ahead in general anyways. And this is almost just another part of that it's like you can't become famous. There are 70-year-old famous men ready to play the leading man. Like no, the leading man's got to be, you know, 30, 40 maybe. 70 really? He's just in my opinion too old, adorable.
Well, no,
If I was
I think it's a case by case basis because, if you think about Denzel Washington and the Equalizer franchises, and every single one he's done has been great. Even the last one, and Denzel's been in the movie game a long, long time. So I guess I'm a little bit different. Where I guess it depends on what role it is.
this
Um,
is I mean it's true and it depends on the age of all the other characters or whatever, but like I mean I just feel like with certain things it's time for the older generation to step aside and to not make their millions and millions in order for the younger generation to make their thousand, you
mhm.
know? And it's just like I feel like for every Denzel, there's probably 10 Michael B. Jordans, you
True,
know?
true.
And it's just there's just got to be a time where you say, okay, I'm gonna give up and I'm gonna go hang out with my grandkids. Like shit, Patrick Dempsey, you gotta have at least one.
Hey, maybe Patrick Dempsey will come on our show after seeing this, right?
I know he's gonna be trying to teach me a lesson. I mean, honestly, he probably would beat both of us in like an arm wrestle and like pickleball. But
Well,
continue.
I want I want to move on to a very interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is a situation where there was a celebrity who has a girlfriend. They're very serious and possibly going to, get married one day. So he has a key to his girlfriend's mom's house.
Okay.
So they're obviously very close. Well, one day he went over there. He walked in on his future mother in law naked
Ugh.
and with someone that's not her husband. So
Oh.
um, he ended up telling his girlfriend what happened.
Mhm.
Of course, it started a big war in the family. And now her father is living with them temporarily because um, he found out, after all this happened. So I guess the two questions I have is one, should he have just walked in there? Now, obviously, from the walk in there, he's done it before. They're comfortable with it, no big deal. The other thing is, do you think he should have told his girlfriend?
Okay. So the walk in there, yes. Like that's you got the key. You've been granted the access. You
Mhm.
have nothing to hide. When you give out a key, that's it. You better have nothing to hide.
True, true.
Um, yes, should have told the girlfriend, yes, 100%. Did the right thing. Yep.
Really?
I think so. Yeah. And it ends up being up to her what she wants to do with the information.
I don't know. I guess it depends because if you're married, hands down, you have to tell.
Mhm.
Especially if you're a husband, because if your wife found out
That you knew.
husband, and if she found out I knew this, then my happy home is destroyed with this.
Right.
And
Uh,
there's a trust issue there.
yeah.
But I don't know if you're just dating someone, I don't know. That's tough.
I mean, they must have been pretty serious because he's got a key to his future mother-in-law's house.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, I think he did the right thing. 100% definitely tell. Like it's on her whether or not she tells her dad. That's
Mhm.
like her thing. But I no, I don't think I mean is in terms of relationships, even if it was just a boyfriend and not gonna get married, not a fiance, like they deserve to know what to do with that family information. I
Mhm.
think. I would want to be told, and I would definitely 100% without a doubt tell. Mainly because I'm a big mouth and I can't keep a secret. But aside from that, I would tell because of my moral.
Even
But
if it was just, a boyfriend girlfriend situation.
I mean, that would actually, if I'm being honest, I would be more likely to tell if it was just a boyfriend because
Mm.
like, I don't give a shit what happens to your family. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, yes, I care about you and I love you, but like at the end of the day, that's I would be more likely to tell and for you to deal with it. This is your
Mm.
guys' family. If I blow up your family, so sorry, but it's not my family. If we're
Actually,
married,
that's a good point, though. That's a good point.
that like if we're married, that would be like a oh God, do I tell him? Because that's when it's like it's gonna blow up my family. So I mean, I know in your when you were saying that maybe when you're married, you're more likely to tell, but like, and I still think you should. In both cases, I would.
Yeah.
Again, because you can't keep a freaking secret. But also because it's the right, I mean, it's the right thing to do, I think, when you're married, but also that is your family and that is your couch getting slept on by your father-in-law.
Yeah. Yeah. And the sad part is there's really no good answer because obviously by telling, you know, it's going to be some family drama after that.
Yeah.
If you don't say anything and it ever comes out that you knew, then now you're dragged in it too. So it's really almost like a no-win situation either way.
It was totally. And I mean, but at the end of the day though, you have to keep in mind like he's not the person who did anything wrong.
True,
Like
true.
he's put in a awful situation. Big, I mean, yeah, bad coincidence. Yeah, I came into the house and I at a time I shouldn't have, but like it's not his fault. it's not his fault. I think he's blameless. 100% regardless of what he chooses, he's blameless. Like no one knows how to handle that because it's not him. So I think if I was his woman and like he walked in on my mom, like I would really have to step back and think like, what would I do in your shoes? And like at the end of the day, I feel like that's such a hard situation. My mom put him in that. Like
But here's another situation, and actually just brought up a good point. What if he initially tells you and you don't believe him?
oh, oh,
Because that's the other thing too.
I mean,
Because
like,
obviously when he told, the mother-in-law came clean, but what if she didn't come clean? Like, oh, he's lying.
I mean, I'd side with my mom and I'd break up with him. Like, really? I'd say, I mean, poor him, but yeah, I would definitely side with my mom and I'd break up with him. I'd be like, well, I don't know, something you did. For some reason, you wanted me to think this lie was true. For some reason, you're running your own game that I don't understand. And I'm just gonna, nope, we're not dating anymore. And yeah, like at the end of the day, 15 years down the road, my mom tells me, my perfect boyfriend was in the right. But yeah, I would definitely choose my mom for sure if she did. So I mean, yeah, again, like there's nothing he can really do right in that situation because as soon as the mom,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless he's got some weird incriminating information, like she's got like a freckle on her left butt cheek. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I understand. A little weird, but yeah, I understand.
you know what I mean? Like he could be like, this is true. How else would I know about her freckle on her left butt cheek? You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's it. And it's also like he could be like, maybe he knew the guy. Maybe it's like, oh, it's the usher from church. Like, like
That's
there are
true.
things in there that could like be kernels of truth that maybe the girlfriend couldn't ignore. But at
True.
the end of the
True.
day, he's blameless. Whatever he did, I feel like there's no right answer. You're gonna mess up someone's day.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think that when it comes down to it, there's no easy answer. So when there's no easy path, just just go ahead and do what's right and let the chips fall where they may. You
Listen
know.
to your in a case like that, listen to your gut. And if she doesn't believe you, she's not right for you.
True. True.
I mean, I think that's it. Oh, I didn't like that one, Lawrence. That one. Whoa. Okay, this is an opinion question for you.
Mhm.
In your opinion, what is the most ridiculous or stupidest thing someone has done to get rich and or famous?
Hmm. You probably don't remember this, but years ago, someone came up with the idea of the pet rock.
Yes.
And what's so stupid about it, this person became a multimillionaire off this idea. And to me, it was the stupidest idea you ever came up with, but the person got rich. And
Oh yeah.
I'm like, wow, why can't I come up with something like that?
I know. And it makes you wonder, like, what was it about I mean, I have to just assume he sold his soul to the devil to make that $1 million. But like really, like what was it about that like drove consumers to be like, yes, let's draw a face on a rock and put a leash on him. Like,
And you know what's so crazy, Kristen, is even when you think about like all the scams and everything going on right now, and I always ask myself, I'm like, I would love to get funding for future projects I want to do,
real
but
things
I'm looking real
working.
real stuff that you can verify. And it's like, how do these people literally talk their way and have people give them tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars? And it's like, what am I missing? You know?
Yes. 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 And I mean, I guess I didn't think about that. Like that's legit one of the stupidest inventions, like ever, like inventions. It's a rock.
Yeah.
Like you didn't invent. They've been around for a while. I don't, and I honestly, I don't even know like what the details of the pet rock were. Like, did they actually like send you a box with a rock in it? Like, do you
People
know?
people were literally buying, basically they were decorated rocks. And
Uh-huh.
nothing fancy. I mean, you could probably go outside and get some rocks and paint them yourself. And people were paying money for this.
So, so would he send them painted rocks?
I'm not sure if they were sold online or in stores. Because I can't think back. I never had one because I thought it was dumb. But I'm sorry, not dumb. It was not my cup of tea.
I mean, do you think it might be the like the fun, goofy novelty of it that people enjoyed?
That could be too, because I know they had this thing with the rubber bands where you would create um, like wristbands and other stuff, rings and stuff with it. This was like years ago when my son was in grammar school. And
Okay.
when you look at all these novelty, like, huh, how can I? Why didn't I come up with something like that?
Mhm.
It's like so incredibly easy, so simple. It's like, wow, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, I mean, to me, the only, and again, being kind of on the younger side of it, like just looking back, the only thing that I could imagine is that it was just so goofy that someone was like, how funny, like a chia pet.
True.
Like, like no one who bought a chia pet was like, isn't this cool? I feel like most of them were like, isn't it so funny? I bought a freaking chia pet. That it was just the irony of it is what made it worth the, $25.
I am stunned that they're still in business.
The
Because
pet rock.
Chia Pets has been no Chia Pets. They've been around a long, long time.
Evolved. They've with every trend, they have like created a chia pet. There is a chia pet with a mohawk. Yeah, I mean, it's not just like the porcupine looking little thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It is it's a whole there's trolls, chia pets for kids. I mean, they've really expanded their repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so the stupidest thing, I actually had two. Well, no, I had one, and then I thought you were gonna say the other one, and you didn't, but it's on the same vein. Um, do you remember this is the one I kind of just came up with. Do you remember Octomom?
Oh.
This woman, I don't know. I don't even remember why she became famous. Let me just Google Octomom. She had several kids, and then she became pregnant with octuplets.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes,
You
yes.
ever? And she like slightly, almost kind of, if you squint and you're a little drunk, looks like Angelina Jolie, and that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she, Nadia Suleiman, Nadia Suleiman. I don't even know how many kids she has at this point, but like, you should never, in general, never be famous for having a kid. Literally, unless you are the Virgin Mary, there is no reason you need to be famous for having a child. Mm-mm. No, no. I was gonna say except for maybe the royal family, but even that, no, no, nope,
Yeah, I
no.
think it's probably the fascination with how many children she had at one time, probably.
I mean, I'm sure because I mean, she was just like I mean, she was just such a freak. Like, I hate to say that, but it was just like, so, like, everyone's like, oh my God, you have so many kids already. And now you have eight at the same time in your belly. That's so many kids. But it's just, but I mean, she's gotten like sponsorships. She's become like, she's endorsed products. She's like, all this and became famous overnight. And like that, and to piggyback on Octomom, because she was like an adult
Yeah.
like she knew better. She like that was all like artificial insemination and like that was all like scientifically done. The other one is that I was initially going to say was Teen Mom from on MTV. Ugh, like why? Why? Like no, 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 no. Like I get what like MTV was trying to do with that and like say like how hard this is and how the relationships don't last and how you lose your childhood. And then it just sort of turned into like I could be famous just for having a kid. And like and like it is true, like there are still people who are interested in the women who were teen moms like back when I was younger. Like they're just like, what's going on with them? They have 3 kids now. And I'm like, why do you even care? They were literally famous for having a kid. It's stupid. It's stupid and talentless, my opinion on that.
I hear you. I mean, there's a lot of people who become famous for the craziest things out there. Um, and you know, a lot of times, especially like when you watch reality shows and stuff, and there's so many people on those shows that you've never heard of until they became a reality star.
Oh yeah. You know, it's so funny. So we do watch Survivor. And there on this season of Survivor, it's just so goofy. And I forget how fame gets into people's heads. Um, so there is a one guy who was on, I think maybe 1 or 2 episodes last season of Survivor. He got hurt, he hit his head,
Mm,
passed out, had to get like medevaced out of the game.
mm.
And then they gave him like a pass to come back. And he was just the way he came back with this ego, with this I'm famous, I hang out with da da da, like everybody knows me, I guess and I was like, you were on an episode and a half of Survivor and you had to leave because you couldn't freaking cut it. Like nothing to be proud of in your performance whatsoever, and yet here you are just like bragging like, oh, I'm so famous, I guess I'm famous now. And like he would say it like he was doing it ironically, but like he meant it. Like you knew he meant it. That he was like, oh, I guess I'm famous now. But you mean it. Like you mean it. You think you're famous now. And like I've watched Survivor for so many seasons. So, like I'm an old ass lady for so many seasons. I love Survivor. And like I don't remember anybody. I remember nobody unless you're the guy that won season 1 and was walking around naked. I don't remember you. And it's literally only because he was walking around naked. Anyways, I
Well,
digress.
he probably was excited because he got instead of 15 minutes of fame, he got 20 minutes of fame.
Wait, yeah, and they brought him back, and like he's been like I mean, as far as a player goes, like his game hasn't been great. But either way, it was just the way he just came in and approached it and was like, "I'm famous now," and I was like, "It took you 1.5 episodes on CBS to become a star. Like that's all it took. That's all it took. And you're have the personality of like a cardboard box. Here we are.
Kristen, now tell us how you really feel, okay?
I told you, Lawrence, I was going to start drinking before this show. This isn't thirsty conversations. Thirsty conversations were very serious. We talked to our guests. We love our guests. Thirsty topic, it's just me and you.
That's right. That's right. Now, I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart.
Oh, God.
I'm a big UFO buff. I love watching UFO stuff. I watch Ancient Aliens. I watch Unsolved Mysteries. I watch The Truth Is Out There. I watch all those shows.
Yeah.
Now, I would say over the last year, you're starting to see the conversation about UFOs become mainstream, meaning that they've talked about it in the news. The government has actually released some photos and other stuff that was previously classified. They're talking about it on talk shows and stuff now. And I guess my question is, how do you feel about the UFO conversation not being on the back burner anymore and it's an open conversation that everyone talks about now, out in the open.
I freaking love it. I love it. I love it. I love it because I'm not the weirdo anymore. And no, like I've never been that person that's been like, the truth is out there. You know, I've never been like X-Files is real. But there's always been a part of me that's like it just logically that I mean, not only the solar system's huge, the galaxy is huge, the universe uncomprehensibly massive. Like it's I don't even have a grasp on it, and I'm in awe of what I do understand of it. It's huge. And so like it just makes sense that we cannot be the only planet that had the perfect conditions for some sort of life form to happen. Like it just like if you've taken statistics, it's just not in our favor that we're the favorite, you know. So I love it. And I've watched so it's so funny because I know you didn't know this. I watched so many like Netflix shows about aliens and like
Mm.
it's so interesting. So let me give you a little tidbit of something that I walk around with in my brain like daily that I heard on I don't know, I think it was Neil Tyson Degrassi actually said it. So if you think about like gorillas, right? And they're like 99% rDNA. And we
Mhm.
can look them in the face and talk to them and try to like communicate, and they don't get what we're saying and don't understand that we're even maybe trying to communicate in some cases. And he said, can you imagine an alien or another life form, 99% rDNA, could always be trying to communicate with us? And we have no idea they're even out there or trying to talk to us. And it's 99% rDNA. Like it's just the exact same thing. And like that blows my mind literally like every day. I think about it probably every day, which is like it lives rent free back here. But it's so true. It's like, and I saw these Netflix shows
Mhm.
about alien. I can't remember what it was, but about aliens coming to visit different small towns and like how it like blew up. Not like it blew up, but like um, it, it was just a big deal in a small town and in
Mhm.
school. You know, these kids on recess all saw an alien, or these people in, you know, in North Dakota all saw, you know, lights in the sky. And like there's one that kids on recess saw that there were saw an alien and that came within like 8 feet of them, and he go
Mhm.
and like he was talking to me telepathically. He was talking into my brain. And like the other girl said the same thing. And that's why I just like think of those two thoughts. I'm like, what if he was like, that's it? Like they're trying to communicate with us all the time, but like we're not open to it. Like we're not equipped the way they are. Either way, that's my weird so my weird UFO theories. What about you? How do you feel about it?
I think that if you kind of look at common sense, we can't be the only ones in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
If you think back, 50, let's even go back, let's say 60, 70 years. If you were to say, talk about going out into the stars, people would think you're nuts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And go back a little bit further and people would think you're a witch or a warlock or something. They would literally look at you like, yeah, we need to do something.
You're like a demon. Mm-hmm.
And now it's like we talk about going into space, you don't even blink an eye because it's so common now.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder, and this is probably the conspiracy side of me talking, it
Let's hear it.
almost it almost seems like they're purposely putting out a lot of stuff because they know something's going to happen.
Oh, I never thought of
And I
that.
could be wrong because at one point, even the government wouldn't even acknowledge the subject. Now they're releasing transcripts, they're releasing video. You see, them talking about it openly in public, openly in the media. It almost makes you wonder if they're purposely kind of putting a toe on the water a little bit.
They're preparing us. What would you think they're preparing us for?
I think the fact that, because here's the thing, if an alien race does decide to show up,
Mm-hmm.
their technology is probably going to be far more advanced as ours.
Mm-hmm.
And if a giant spaceship decides to come and land over Chicago, Illinois, LA, or wherever, yeah, you really can't hide that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's gonna happen. Yeah, yeah.
And,
I
and you can push off a couple of people, but if there's like a few 100,000 people that's like seeing this,
right.
yeah, you're not going to be able to push that off so easily.
Yeah. I don't know. Like there's a part of me that feels like maybe they were just, as far as the government goes, were giving us enough to detract us from other things. And so, but like at the same time, like at the time that those things came out, I don't know what else would have been happening, like that was the thing. I'm like, because there were like hearings in Congress about people who were previously in the army and then, or in
Hmm.
the army, because they were way high up, in the
Hmm.
government, about things coming out. And like they knew that there were non-human, what did I remember? They said non-human bodies, non-human creatures flying certain planes and yada yada. And I immediately, when that started to come out, I was like, what are they trying to distract us from? But like there was no like nothing anywhere else that was like, oh, we're secretly bombing Africa, like where you would think that they were trying to like detract our attention from. So that's immediately I was like, well, there goes that. Like, why are we suddenly in the know? Is it because, yeah, eventually this is going to come to light because like they're actually coming to Earth now? Like, what is, but they're real. They're here. They're here. We
Hmm.
don't see them. But I mean, I was, it's so funny. I was just looking up yesterday, truly, like yesterday or the day before, and I saw a random cloud, just like clear sky and one random, perfectly round cloud. And I just remember thinking, what if there's a UFO in that? Like, just just hiding, just just observing.
Hmm. Now they don't call them UFOs anymore. It's UAVs now.
UAV, yes, unidentifying aviation.
I want to say unidentified aerial vehicles, I think.
Yes, 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 yeah. That was part of the show I saw as
So
well.
you can
Yeah,
tell I really watch this stuff when I know the terminology.
yeah, yeah. I knew it wasn't UFO anymore. And then, yeah, it's been changed a few different times. But yeah, I didn't know what it was currently. But I don't know. It's like I'm here for it. Like honestly, and I see lots of like memes, and especially after that came out of like the government official of just like, what are you gonna do? Enslave me? What are you gonna do? Take away my money gradually until I die? What, you gonna work me to death? Like, like that's not already happening. Like, I mean, I hate to say that, but I mean, there's a kernel of truth in that joke of like, what are you gonna do? Like, make me hate my leader? Or gonna do, like,
But what? I'm really glad it's starting to come out too because there are a lot of military officials. There's a lot of pilots. I mean, we're talking professional pilots, even combat pilots that because of fear of ridicule and also fear of possibly, ending their career, they wouldn't say anything.
don't know. And I mean, it's such a hard thing for them. And like, I I have so many feelings. I have so many feelings. Like at the same, like I'm like, yes, I do believe that you need to keep certain things classified in order to um not outrage or like create mass fear in the public.
Sure.
So I believe in that. But I don't necessarily think sharing your honesty in like a slow and gradual way would have like caused panic. Like if and I don't know because I feel like I'm a reasonable person. I feel like I am. Um, so like I feel like if there was a government official who came on the TV back in 2012 and said, "We believe there are aliens out there. As far as we know, they are good and they are not bothering us. If they come, they're here to observe." And that be it for the next 2 years, and then come back and be like, they've aliens have made contact, they have not hurt anybody, they've, there's signs here, signs there, but everything, like if we've had a gradual update and just kept us in the know, I feel like there wouldn't be all these crazy conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And poor people who like really have had actual like encounters wouldn't have lost their jobs or been called crazy or been divorced or, all the things. Like, I mean, there are people who have had alien encounters who've like obsessed over them because no one believes them and they're trying to just gather evidence to like get someone to believe that this happened to them because I feel like that is a horribly traumatic experience. Like, to see a creature that you never knew ever existed and then to try to tell somebody and they think you're crazy, like how traumatic, like not only is the experience traumatic, like I didn't know the Loch Ness monster or whatever existed or Bigfoot or whatever, but now I know it does and no one believes me. Like that's ruining people's lives and it's like not their fault.
No, and no one should have to bear that kind of punishment to where you know what you saw, you know what you experienced, but you're so afraid to acknowledge it because you don't want to be labeled crazy. You don't want to end your career.
Yes.
So I think by starting to open it up a little bit more into the mainstream, I think it's going to help everyone. And let's face it too. I would think that most governments would want to know what's in their skies, you know?
Well, here's the thing. I think most governments do know what's in their skies. I 100%. I think radar picks all that shit up. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the government is ever confused. Like we don't see you, but we see you on the radar. You're not talking to us. We like I think there are definitely markers that say that it's like a UAV, but I don't think that they let us know at all. And even if they should, like that's the thing. If it's that common of thing, like how much more comfortable would I feel knowing that, like, once every 6 months, somebody sees what they think is an alien in the sky and nothing happens. No one dies, nothing gets bombed. Like it's a non-event. Like how much better would I feel knowing that aliens are around? Like I'd be like, oh, they're here, they're just checking us out. They're looking in on it. Like maybe I should be suspicious, but at the same time, I feel like their technology is better than ours and they want nothing of us. They don't
Yeah,
they don't even need our manual labor. They are not going to enslave us because they probably can move shit with their minds.
yeah. I
Honestly.
mean, I think that if you made an announcement to me in 2023,
Mhm.
some people go, "Wow, whatever," but it'd be like, "Okay, all right, let's process this." Now, back in the 40s or 50s, yeah, I don't know. That may,
Yeah.
that may have caused mass hysteria, you know.
And I just think that the, with the way our technology has progressed, we understand things that we could have never understood in the past. That in the
True,
40s, we couldn't understand the internet. We couldn't
true.
understand how we could get information from one person to another. Like, I mean, we were like so many people didn't even have telephones and were like running like indoor water yet in like the 30s. So it's just like that's such a huge leap to say like I mean even I don't even know when did the Wright brothers fly? Let's Google. I have my computer up just for this.
Ooh, nice. I'm gonna guess 1940 something.
Let's see. Uh the glider, man, the brothers flew the glider for only a few days in early autumn of 1900.
Oh wow, even longer than that. Okay.
So, I mean, in the early 1900s. is when we first took flight. And I guarantee we've known about these old aliens for at least 50 years. I'd say at least 50 years.
Yeah, yeah. I would have to agree with you on that.
I don't know. And you know what? One thing I always remember, um, I saw it in school, like back in high school. So like just 20 years ago, practically, um, that we had set up in around in the 50s. I don't even know what we set up. I don't know if it was on a satellite or where we sent it up, but there was an image that we sent up once we thought, and by thought, I'm now thinking new, aliens were here. We set up an image of a man and a woman just to know like who's in charge in the planet. But you know, one thing I think is real fun? The man was here, the woman was here. Like, if you want to know who's in charge, it's this one. Don't talk to this silly woman doing dishes. Talk to the man.
Mm.
I always thought that was interesting. I was,
Mm.
it's like, take me to your leader. Well, this is the leader. This is his little minion doing his dishes. But that was, again, a 50s thing. But
That's
that,
true.
I don't even know where that was like emitted at, or like where we just, it was an image that we put into space somehow.
Hmm. You know
Uh,
what? We need to have someone from the UFO community on Thirsty Conversations one day.
quite honestly, I think we did have somebody who was into it was very recently, into the communications. And I'm not gonna say I think he knew something, but I think he knew something.
You think so?
I do. You know who I'm talking about? I can't remember his name.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And like, I just don't imagine you
You're thinking
could.
about Larry, aren't you?
I think so, yeah. And because he gave us some pretty. There was a lot he couldn't talk about,
Yeah.
and so, which is fine. Like, he's he's not the general, like, you know what I mean. Like, I
Yeah.
understand you have to keep your job, but I think that he's seen some things. I'm sure, like, I'm
And
sure.
and just for the people out there, on our main show, Thirsty Conversations, she's actually talking about season 3, episode 5, where
Okay.
we had Larry Jordan on there. And what was interesting, and I don't want to give away too much because I want you guys to tune in and watch it, but he's an active ranking military person. I'll say that.
Hmm.
And I was actually pleasantly surprised. I mean, like Kristen said, there's certain things he just can't get into, but he was very open and transparent on our show. And I think it's definitely an episode that you want to watch. It
Yeah,
was a great episode. It really was.
yeah. And I like to hear a lot about how in times of need, different technological entities and corp
Yes.
came together, and that was really refreshing to hear. I'm like, oh, you mean they're
That
not
that
just
actually surprised me though, in a good
right?
way. That really surprised me.
It did. It for sure did. Okay, to lighten things up, not like that's not light already, but lighten or to darken, because it really depends on your gender and who you are. Britney Spears,
Hmm.
she's got a book. Have
Well,
you
that's right.
heard anything about this Britney Spears book?
The things I've heard about it is that her family is not very happy about that book because it does not paint a lot of them in a good light, especially her father that used to be um, over the executor over her estate.
Yes. Listen, I don't I don't care who you are. If you earn your money, you have a right to do whatever you want with it. Every basketball player that has burnt themselves out on hookers and coke, every football player that has, I don't even know, had hair plugs. I don't know. No, it doesn't matter. Whatever. I get so mad at this. Like, let's just start with the sexism. Like, one man who's made shit ass decisions in their life has had their daddy take over their money? None. Not like none that we know of. Not like Macaulay Culkin when he was 11. Like it just doesn't happen to men. Like we can start there. There were so there were so many pieces of like trauma that were just like you shouldn't have had to deal with this. And it makes me, it like legit breaks my heart. If she would have come out at the time these things happened, um, I it was a different time. Like, let's start there. I would like to think that we would, as an audience and like as fans, would have understood.
Yeah,
I do remember when she shaved her head.
I do
And
too. Yeah.
like because like truthfully, I have been there. Like I've buzzed my hair. Like I remember being 17 and just feeling so out of control of my life and so in so many different aspects. And I remember being like, this is, and I know I didn't consciously think this is the only thing I can control. But now looking back, I'm like, what else did I have? You know? And so I just think back to her and how many people were leeches, and she was going through a divorce and she had just had two kids, and like she was being stalked by the paparazzi. And like that was just like the public side of things. We all saw her shave her head. Nobody knew about her having an abortion. No one knew. And that was one of the biggest things in this book, that she had, Justin Timberlake had urged her to get an abortion. And let me tell you, the Southern Baptist religious, uh, you know, Jiminy Cricket in your ear is real. So, I mean, I just can't imagine her having to go through that and to know she can't tell anybody. Anybody she tells within her family is going to judge her because it's against our religion. And anybody she tells outside of her family is going to report it to the freaking tabloid.
Yeah. And the sad part, Kristen, is everyone looks up to their fan, to their celebrities. They idolize them and stuff. But I think a lot of times they forget they're human beings too. And they go through the same things that ordinary people do, except whatever they do is in the limelight. There's always a camera in their face outside of their home.
Yeah.
So, they can't have a bad day, because they have a bad day, it's in the tabloids someplace, it's on social media. So, even if they're not feeling their best, they got to put on a fake smile just because, they want to keep the fans happy, keep the money rolling in. And, I was shocked when they first talked about the conceivership, as far as how long it's been in place, because I understand that when you're a minor, the parents are the legal guardians. They're the ones that's legal. But I would think that as your child becomes an adult, you start pulling back. And at some point, yeah, they need to take care of their own business. Now, you
I
hope that they don't blow through their money, but I agree with you. That's their decision, too.
decision. And honestly, like if you've raised your kid right, you don't have to fucking worry about it.
Sure.
And like, that's how, like, just deep down I keep thinking like, okay, maybe she wasn't a minor, but she was going through some mental illness issues. Fine, you have to be her conservator for like a couple of years where she gets some therapy, gets some meds, right, like takes a break from work. You help her like with daycare with the kid. Like that's what a parent does. And like if you have to be conservator over that, that's fine, but like your job as a parent is to eventually let go
True.
and just know like I've done what I can for you. You are good to make your own decisions. And so for a parent to just cling on because there are millions of dollars, and I just want to know like what did he get? What did her dad buy? What did he get with, I mean, because that is the big question for me. It's like, did he really think he was doing the right thing? And like he took a $60,000 a year paycheck to keep track of her, because that to me would be reasonable. Like I have to watch you, I have to watch your money, I have to be
Yeah.
your accountant. I have to make sure kids are taken care of. Like $60,000, sure. Like 70,000, 80,000, 125,000, fine. But like, what did he get out of it? I never heard where the money got funneled to, and that's been like the thing that's really made me wonder. Like, did he think he was doing the right thing and he wasn't, or was he just a piece of garbage dad from the very beginning? But
That's true. That's true. I mean, the thing is that to me, it shows character or lack of character because, to me, as parents, you want your child to do much better than you.
absolutely,
The average parent wants that.
yeah.
But the sad part is there are parents out there that take advantage of the situation. And, once your child figures out what's going on, I would think that, you could probably damage your relationship with your child forever. Once they figure out, like, oh my God, these people that's supposed to be protecting me, supposed to be watching over me, are robbing me blind, you know?
And there was a quote that I saw from her that it was, I'm not quoting it right, but it was something along the lines of, eventually I became okay with my family. I could never talk to them again, and I became okay with that.
Mm.
Like, that's just like, why? Why would you? Is any amount of money, one, is any amount of money worth that? But two, like, even if you are in it for the money, again, if you've raised your kid right, like, if I become a billionaire or a multimillionaire, I'm gonna buy my parents a house.
Oh,
I
sure,
would
sure.
I would give them everything. And so I just feel like if you were Brittany's parents and you raised her right, she would want to do everything for you anyways.
Hmm.
So have to steal it from her is just it's just so sick. It's just
Yeah.
so sick. And I just feel so bad that she's been like such, like it's such a like a God-given talent with singing and dancing and stage presence has been like twisted in such a way to literally make her life hell. Like
Yeah.
that's not what was intended for her when she like God gave her these gifts. And it's really frustrating to watch, I think.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, sadly enough, I don't think her family situation will ever be the way it should be. But I think overall, I think she's in a better place now, as far as her mental status, being able to control her own destiny. And, the thing is, like you say, if you raise your children right, they're going to do the right things. And the other thing people got to understand is we're all going to make mistakes along the way.
Yeah.
That's a part of being human. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Obviously, you just hope that your child doesn't fall too hard, but they
Right.
are gonna fall from here and there. That's part of growing up. That's a part of learning.
Yeah. All right, Lawrence. It is 59 after my
Yes,
time.
it is. Wow,
Have
we
we?
had some great conversations today.
Yeah, we did. I need to get loose every time.
There you go. There you go. I'm gonna have my little cup next time. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I really think that thirsty topics needs to involve some sort of thirst quencher.
There you go.
Just, just saying.
Well, for anyone who's watching out there, because it will be on the YouTube channel, so it can be watched at a later date. But you can watch me and Kristen on our main show, which is Thirsty Conversations, which is on elrodtvnetwork.com.
Yes, absolutely. Please watch us. We have like almost as much fun. I'm not going to say more fun, but almost as much fun as we do here. But, we have a wild time. We have a wild time. I'm not going to lie. We have a lot of crazy guests. We have just a lot of
Yes.
fun guests, very various guests. I learn something every time. I like,
Yes.
it reminds me how stupid I am, quite honestly. Every time a guest gets off, I'm like, I had no idea that
No, no, no. Actually, what's so cool about this whole thing is that I learn something every single time. And, hopefully next time that we do this, people actually chime in because, there's people watching us too.
yes, we do have people. We have people. I can see them watching right now because I have it pulled up. We have people watching right now. We are 100% willing to engage. So
Yes.
if want to know like what like box number my hair dye is even. Like I will let you know.
There you
So feel
go.
free to ask.
And if there's anything that you want us to talk about on our shows, just let us know either here or on social media.
Yes.
So
One.
yeah, more people are like chiming in one at a time, but that's okay. Better late than never, right?
You know what? I'll take it. 100%. I will take a good chat anytime I can get it. Quite honestly. And you know what? If even if they chime in after this, can they comment after this we close
Yep.
and we get back to them?
Yes, we can. Yes, they can.
Because once again, if you need to know this hair dye color, make sure to email. Like,
Alrighty. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and bring it to a close.
yes.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Tell your friends.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.